It's the morning star drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like this. I got my head in the zone, you know. I'm on the morning star drive, you know.
Hey everyone, how's it going? It is Thursday, November 19th, and this is the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. We're on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe, follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. Today we'll get some coronavirus updates, 2 hurricanes hitting South America in 2 weeks, and US election updates. And of course, today is Thursday, so the new segment of Victory Rhymes by Young Say in South Africa will be done. So, how are you guys doing? I don't know if you guys can hear behind me. It is crazy thunder and lightning going on right now. It's been like this for 4 days. Not like, whoa, okay, that was a big flash lightning right now. Did you guys hear that? Yeah, and it's been like this for 4 days, but not like... Okay, guys, that was basically thunder. Oh my gosh. I'm a little bit scared right now to see what's going to happen, but yeah. I completely forgot where I was after that big thunder thing. Okay, either way. Okay, these are not gunshots, it's thunder, guys. It's Thursday, it's almost the ending of the week, and almost the ending of my life. Hope you guys really enjoyed the service last night, so let's get this day started here on the Morning Star Drive. Just wanted to remind everyone, keep liking and commenting, and I want to hear from you guys and see how you're doing. Also, for those of you that know, tonight is a Bubble Talk at 8 p.m. Malaysia time, so hopefully see you guys tonight on the live stream. Also, Sunday, who are we going to meet for the Sunday edition? We're going to meet Michael Mont from New York. He is a young JS from America, just had a baby, and guys, amazing person. When I was there in New York, he just passed, and he's raising a family, also running in this history. Fun interview. Very thankful he spent some time to do this interview, so make sure to catch next week's Sunday edition. All right, so on this Thunder Thursday, right? Let's get into the featured artist of the day. Today's featured artist is from Paper Music Associates in Korea. It is Isomares, and this song is called LYL, Live Your Life. The second song is going to be from the Sumney Boys featuring Mariah Henry, a really fun summer song. It is Together with the Lord. And last but not least, this song is from Renee Lai in Taiwan. It's a cover from a song from Joyce Chu. This song is called Can't Hide My Heartbeat. I asked her why she wanted to cover this song. She said, there's these lyrics in there she really likes. It says, even though the world changes easily, but when you stand in front of me, it's enough to prove that this unchanged love can last forever. So we all know who that is talking about. So everyone, let's listen to these member artists from around the world and let's support them in our prayers.
난 쉽게 마냥 부조신자니 너희들의 폭음덕에 나 대시 애맨 드림 단계 난 주고 들어갈래 heaven 왜 스프링 자리 잡고 나도 구원받아 자본주의 돈 버는 머신에 놈으로 시리가 돼도 좋아 주머니만 채워줘 비꼬르 돈이라서 날 더 깨워줘 잠잠한 나의 같은 나를 데리게라 쥐를 밟아주려 하니 또 연임이 오신 덕에 난 더 빠르게 될 수 있어 너희들 100천만 하는 그때니 5천만의 라이스길이 결국엔 많이 한 곳으로 모이지 돈이 머니 돈이 결국 답이 돈 없음 불행하지 너만큼 지루하지 비슷했건 구름대로 비가 되지 아버지만 아니에요 젊은 것도 포함이 저 비꼬는 거 아냐 비스크 쳤다 미안해 아마 나봐야 ever dream 죽었다면 꿈을 못 꾸지 네가 많은 생각이 또 틀린 거니 먼저 버린 왜 너만 계속하니 내 꿈 찾으러 왜 날이 올라가리 따뜻해도 야 외로워 또 미래 같이 가는 형들 기다리고 있음 알았으면 짐을 싸야 하지만 나를 많이 사랑 나는 꿈을 꿀 사람은 가는 것이 아나 8살의 나침반 가슴 중앙에 팡 나는 아이언맨 모든 미래 드림 날 이걸 잊지 말아 몰라면이면 어때 시간 빠르게 해서 정신 차려 멈춰 네가 말했던 가난 네가 많이 있어 생겨나면 실 정도면 감사해 가
나를 보고 지금 fly 뭘 고민의 시간 아깝게 누가 모를 Cause I want it like a child again yeah 눈을 떠보니 잊어버렸었지만 꿈에서 봤던 내가 아직 거기 있다면 take me there yeah
알람은 꺼져요 Why are you on 달라 꿈속에서 꺼내와 사랑해 내 꿈 그래서 만날 거야 기다려봐도 난 널 보고 죽을래 시간이 빨라 놓치기 전에 핑보름달이 펴에서 달려 I go like 꿈꾸도 waste my game 말이 얼었잖아 내 신발 봐 I want no city 당당하게 그럼 결국 날 날려 걸음의 생이 될 거야 내 기억 내 막으로 못 넘겨 드러난 그런 꿈꿔
난 네가 아닌 게 기웃거리 boy 내 꿈에 눈이 멀어버리는 게 나 Just live your life, live your life 다 집어던지고 fly away 울고 있는 시간 아깝게 누가 뭐래 가상은 내 스마일 차르게 눈을 떠보니 잊어버렸어 꿈에서 봤던 내가 아직 거기 있다면 take me there
We believe in the same God, but we are on different levels.
Put your hands in the sky if you feel alive. All the stories that we made, just you and I. Never losing all the passion. All this love is my obsession. Oh my gosh, this feeling got me heat stroke. His love like a billion pots about to heat though. I ain't never breaking from this bond, cause you and I are only one.
If you were living with the Lord, then who you with?
Who you with?
If you were living with the Lord, then who you with? You with? 주와 함께 together with the Lord every day, all day. 주와 함께 together with the Lord all day, all day. 주와 함께 together with the Lord every day, all day. 주와 함께 together with the Lord all day, all day.
Together with the Lord, I'm living my best life. Don't worry about a thing, you know it's only some in life. We sing about memory stories that we share. We'll fall deeper in love as we stop and just stare. My eyes only on you, they sparkle with love. Don't forget my charm too. There will never be another. Live this life only for you. I give you this promise that I will hold true.
If you were living with the Lord, then who you with?
Who you with?
If you were living with the Lord, then who you with? You with? 주와 함께 together with the Lord every day, all day. 주와 함께 together with the Lord all day, all day. 주와 함께 together with the Lord every day, all day. 주와 함께 together with the Lord all day, all day.
We believe in the same God, but we are on different levels.
就算世界多善变，当你在眼前，足够让我去跟时间球场永远。人生的空白也为你填满了心愿，藏不住心跳。即使从我的视角不见你微笑，你往后我往前就有一直不掉。从咫尺到天涯，就算看尽人世浮华，我只喜欢你啊 Baby, baby, you 绕着你的四周打转，多想进入你的心里面。你能不能把我写进未来剧情？书页写着我和你的姓名，演绎一种幸运，就像电影里所有的浪漫化学反应。Oh baby， 就算世界多善变，当你在眼前，足够让我去跟时间求证永远。人生的空白也为你填满了心愿，藏不住心跳。其实从我的视角不见你微笑，你往后我往前就有一直不掉。把剪发变假发，就算成长让人复杂，我只喜欢你啊。你能不能把我写进未来剧情？书页写着我和你的姓名，演绎一种幸运，就像电影里所有的浪漫化学反应。Oh baby， 就算世界多善变，当你在眼前，足够让我去跟时间求证永远。人生的空白也为你填满了心愿，藏不住心跳。其实从我的视角不见你微笑，你往后我往前就有一直不掉。把剪发变假发，就算成长让人复杂，我只喜欢你啊，我只喜欢你啊，我只喜欢你啊。
And that was Renee live from Taiwan. She's covering a song from Joyce Chu, and that song is Can't Hide My Heartbeat. Before that was Somebody Boys featuring Mariah Henry, and that song was Together with the Lord. And of course, the feature artist today is Isomers from the Paper Music Associates in Korea, and that song is LYL, Live Your Life. So that means we're going to get into the coronavirus updates for today. And in the world right now, 55.9 million cases with 1.3 million deaths, and that is at 2.4% mortality rate. If you look at by country, the U.S. is on top with 11.6 million cases, 254,000 deaths at 2.17%. Yikes. Oh my gosh, it feels like the thunder. The lightning is like right behind me. I can feel it in my heart. Okay, either way, India, 8.9 million cases, 131,000 deaths at 1.47%. Brazil, 5.9 million cases, 166,000 deaths at 2.82%. And Russia, 1.9 million cases, 33,000 deaths at 1.72%. The UK, 1.4 million cases, 52,000 deaths at 3.74%. And to round up the top six, it is Italy with 1.2 million cases, 46,000 deaths at 3.75%. Sweden's at 3.23%, and Belgium once again goes up in their mortality rate all the way up to 2.74%, which is a 0.02% increase. Now let's take a look at the daily infection rates for yesterday. We have the US at 157,000 cases in a day, and that's a 1% increase. India comes in second with 38,000 cases in a day. Brazil comes back into the top six with 35,000 cases at a 1% increase. Italy at 32,000 cases at 3%. Then Russia at 22,000 cases at 1%. And of course, UK rounds up the top six with 20,000 cases in a single day with a 1% increase. Over here in Malaysia, top three, we have Indonesia. In Southeast Asia, we have Indonesia at 3,800 cases in a single day. Then Malaysia's in second with 1,200 cases in a day. And then the Philippines drops down to third with 1,100 cases in a single day. So we do see a lot of different changes happening. And of course, America is, the infection rate is at the highest. And but the good thing for America is the mortality rate keeps going down more and more and more. All right, So that brings us into another new segment for this week. We started last week, and every Thursday, we're going to hear a segment called Victory Rhymes. And these are all the resurrected poetry that has been done not only by the Lord, but also by the brides of this history. So let's listen up to Victory Rhymes.
What's up, everyone? Hope you're having an amazing week. This is Youngse, and welcome to Victory Rhymes. It is a collection of poetry written by brides. So every week you're gonna hear some poems that are written by members, and in these poems they capture the experiences and the things we go through in our daily lives of faith as we live in this amazing history. So today's poem is one that I'm sure will remind you just how awesome it is to live here in this amazing Providence history. This history with this great hope of the rapture. We live this amazing reality of the rapture, and we have this eternal hope that just gives us so much joy. You know, some sing song, true happiness is eternal happiness. And today's poem is just gonna just make you feel it again, you know. It's called The Endless Search for Endlessness. And, you know, if you look in the world today, everyone is looking for something that will never change. Everyone wants to keep looking young forever, even though that can never happen no matter how much eye cream they use. And everyone just they want love that will never fade, and they want riches forever. But all these things just come to an end. So it's not very hopeful at all, because it will all fade. We will all get old, and this was a really big fear for me before Providence. Like getting old was something I was always very scared of, even though it happens to everyone. Just the thought of growing older, and then that fear comes, like, okay, what have I done with my life? What if I what have I done? And it's just this kind of hope that we won't get old that we kind of try to cling to. But yeah, so I wrote this poem, and it's called The Endless Search for Endlessness. And I'm just gonna stop talking because it speaks for itself. And here we go. The Endless Search for Endlessness. From birth to death, start to finish, we search from 1 to 100 for something endless. We run around, grabbing onto foam bubbles, a shiny promise at first, but a broken dream at last. Our bubble of hope threatens to burst as we near the stage of giving up on the endless search for something endless. Disappointment after disappointment, we sigh and wonder if something never changing even exists. We grabbed onto words that became silences, filled with regret and pain. We grabbed onto dreams that we woke up from to realize it was just a fantasy. We grabbed onto love that grew cold. So endlessly we search until we grow old. We hope for something that will never change, never lose its beauty, never lose its mind, never disappoint, never fade or disappear. Something we can always grab onto and know it will always be near. When I first heard your voice, Lord, I knew the endless search for something endless is over. Something never changing was born on this earth. At last, the purpose for birth and death was revealed, and I came to life. My hands, heart, and mind grabbed onto something that will never slip from my fingers, something I could never see the end of and never get tired hearing about. The words that tie my birth to purpose, that taught me what my worth is, the words that never fade. It's a life that I will never trade for anything or anyone. When I first looked at you, Lord, I knew my endless dreams came true in finding you. Isn't it true, everyone? Isn't it so amazing? We have found endless joy, endless happiness, endless spiritual wealth. We found endless love. And this is truly the end of all the searching. We have found something everlasting. This is truly amazing. I cannot get over it. So that is the poem for today. It is the endless search for endlessness. And as always, if you've written something that you would like to share, please find the link in the description and please mail me all your details and your poem and everything. And if you wish, you could always stay anonymous. If you want to share something and you're a little bit shy, don't worry. Okay, that's it for Victory Rhymes today, and I'm gonna be back next week with another poem. I hope you have an amazing day, and this is Yongsei. Goodbye.
And that was Victory Rhymes from Youngsei from South Africa. I hope you guys really enjoyed that segment. And those of you who would like to contribute your poetry, it could be anonymous any other way. It could be, you can nominate someone else who you think, of course, ask them first before you give them the poem. Or if you have a really, like a favorite poem that you have from Sunsteam, you go ahead and write an email to Youngsei, and I'll leave the email in the description below. All right, cool. So what does that mean now? It's a time of praise and worship, and I hope you guys will really enjoy this time together. We're going to sing some really cool songs today on this thunderous Thursday. Yes, it is still thundering behind me, raining like crazy. We're going to start off with something awesome. We're going to start off with The Wedding Banquet of Love. We're going to chuck our ways down to the next song of Grab Hold of the Heart. And last but not least, a very deep Shimjonic song. It is a song called My Confession to the Lord. So all of us, I really hope that we can give glory, praise, and honor to the Holy Trinity at this time together on the Morning Star Drive.
Now the time's come, time for us all to sing the new songs. Everyone come and dance. Wave your arms, move your legs now. Shake your head all around. Move and shake your whole body. Let's sing the new songs of this new history. Let's go. Let's all run. All the praise and glory we offer only to heaven. Everyone rise, come on. Move your body, feel the music, dance as one. Just wave both of your hands, shuffle your feet, while matching the beat and singing with happiness. Ha! Full of joy, God and the Spirit watch. They can't help but laugh, dancing along, dancing with them. We are strengthened, rise up in new story. Let's make this wedding banquet for 1,000 years as we fulfill God's perfect world of love. We'll make it awesome. We'll run without regrets as our souls and spirits live as owners. Forever up in heaven, that great eternal world. We're loving God forever, loving the Holy Spirit now and always. We will live with the Lord forever. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Ho, 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 ho. Let's make this wedding banquet for 1,000 years as we fulfill God's perfect world of love. We'll make it awesome. We'll run without regrets as our souls and spirits live as owners. forever up in heaven, that great eternal world. We're loving God forever, loving the Holy Spirit now and always. We will live with the Lord forever. We will live with the Lord forever. We will live with the Lord forever. Cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha. Cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha. Cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha. Cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha, cha 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 cha.
People's hearts to burn up like that and flow away. When your heart's left alone, it goes to waste, thoughts end in vain. Your heart flows away. Now grab your heart and control your deeds. Lead them on to love, lead them to the Lord, pressing on. Too, their hearts will flow away, their hearts will burn and fade. If they are left alone, even their hearts will continue on. Make up your mind, then act as you should. Persevere on towards the Trinity. Serve them. Treat them with love. Fire will burn, water will flow. People's hearts to burn up like that and flow away. To waste, thoughts end in vain. Your heart flows away. Now grab your heart and control your deeds. Lead them on to love, lead them to the Lord, pressing on towards that goal. No more God, Spirit, Son, work like this too. Their hearts will flow. Trinity, serve them well, treat them with love. Make up your mind, then act as you should. Persevere on towards the Trinity, serve them well, treat them with love. I recall when I first met you, my Lord, how I made up my decided I would learn from you only, focusing on this word alone. I have seen how you really live your life. I have seen for myself. Now I will not be shaken, whatever comes. I have seen you, Lord, so how could I share? I will serve you, Lord, you who are the King of 10,000 kings. And I love you, Lord, forever is my bridegroom. I love you more. You've become my everything. I've given all my life to you. Please use me according to your way. When I saw the Almighty shine through you, I got down on my knees. Surely the Trinity are working through you. I confess to you through these burning tears. I will serve you, Lord, you are the King of 10,000 kings. And I love you, Lord, forever is my bridegroom. I love you more. You've become my everything. I've given all my life to you. Please use me according to your will. Everything, the work you've done, the word you breathe, I can testify that all these things are true. I preach with the spirit of truth. I will serve you, Lord, you who are the King of 10,000 kings. And I love you, Lord, forever is my bridegroom. I love you more. You've become my everything. I've given all my life to you. Please use me according to your will. I will serve you, Lord, you who are the King of 10,000 kings. And I love you, Lord, forever is my bridegroom. I love you more. You're the only one I love. There's no one else, there's nothing lost. I love you, so please receive my love. You're the only one I love. There's no one else, there's nothing more. I love you, so please receive my love.
And that was my confession to the Lord. I hope that everyone was able to confess through those lyrics in that song that we are truly the brides of this history and will love God until the very end. Before that, we had Grab Hold of the Heart, and of course, the first song, the really exciting Wedding Banquet of Love. Actually, that second song too is pretty, really exciting too, Grab Hold of the Heart. And it's interesting because that song, when I first heard it, it really reminded me of like a kind of like a Hillsong praise song for Providence. So yeah, I remember a lot of people really, really like that song too. With just that electric guitar intro, like either way, right? So one thing I just realized right now was I did things in the wrong order. Like instead of doing, I was actually supposed to do current news of the day, but I went straight into the. I went straight into the victory rhymes, which I apologize for. Right? I do apologize. I will make sure that next week I don't do it that way because I skipped the current news of the day. And there's a lot of current news that is going on that we should know. And of course, U.S. election, there's a lot of things going in there. But I want to start off with something else that's happening in the world right now. Yes, I apologize once again. I do apologize once again that I went out of order, okay? So, first thing we're going to take a look at is the new, more hurricanes happening all over the world. Now, this is not just America. This is basically the 30th hurricane or tropical, in this hurricane season. This is actually the 30th tropical storm in the Atlantic for this hurricane season, which is a seasonal record, okay? And we're going to talk about what's happening over there in Nicaragua. Okay, Nicaragua, Honduras, all that area is being hammered by this new hurricane called Hurricane Iota. Okay, and this is the second hurricane to hit the exact same spot in 2 weeks, and this one is the strongest this season. And this hit on Monday night. It's a Category 4. Okay, which means it's the second highest level, and the winds went up to 249 kilometers an hour, ripping off rooftops. And just widespread flooding everywhere. Okay, so like I said, it's less than 2 weeks. 2 hurricanes have hit. The first one wasn't quite as strong as this one, but they're still recovering from it just 13 days before. So it's less than 2 weeks ago. They're also expecting all week to have another meter of rain. Right, it's going to fall this week. It's another meter of rain over there in Nicaragua. Like I said, Iota is the 30th tropical storm of this hurricane season for the Atlantic. So this is pretty crazy. In Nicaragua right now, what we need to know is there's already drought and a food shortage. So, the drought is something that is going to be remedied by this flood, but of course it's way too much. And then there's a food shortage, and then on top of it, we have coronavirus. So this is what's happening over there in South America. Also, a couple things that are going on with the U.S. elections. Remember, everything is still going into, everything is still being presented as lawsuits. So I'm not presenting this as truth or fact, but these are the allegations, and which are going to be proven in court. And it seems like the Trump lawyers are very, very confident in the evidence that's coming out. And they're saying every day more and more people are coming out saying that this is wrong, not just Republicans, but Democrats too. But also other political scientists and data analysts are actually looking at this. They're looking at this election from other countries because it is very important, because America is the largest economy in the world, right? And, they're not second is China, and they're not even close. So there is one data scientist in the UK is looking into the info from all the vote counting software. Because when we talked about the Dominion machines just the other day, how they're used in other elections. And remember when I told you that there was a high-ranking military official that has a sworn affidavit? This is not a U.S. high-ranking official. This is actually someone who's a military high-ranking official from Venezuela, who is a close friend of Chavez, the one that actually made this Dominion machine and software. And he's the one basically saying he knows everything about the machines, all the algorithms and whatnot, right? So very interesting thing is in this Dominion machines, there's a data analyst. I'm not sure what you call data or data. Yeah, I think in America it's data, and I think in Canada it's data. I'm not sure which one it is, but there's a data scientist in the UK looked into all the information from the vote counting software, and 4 things that they noticed. Number 1 is counts are going down, which doesn't make any sense. So what does that mean, counts going down? Let's just say you have 1,000 votes and all of a sudden it goes to 900. Like when you're counting votes, it never goes down. It goes up constantly or remains the same. It should never go down. But in the information, looking into the information and analyzing the data, counts went down, votes went missing, and then ballots with the same ID were counted anywhere from 2 up to 4 times. Like the same vote was counted over and over and over again up to 4 times. And basically, this data analyst was saying that this should have been investigated prior to the election. Why? Because it was like Texas actually denied the use of Dominion machines, right? They said, no, we don't want it because it's too, we've already heard is not going to be good enough. Even Democrats from last year were all saying that it wasn't trustable, right? But now, basically right now, they're saying it is trustable, but ballots with the same voter ID appeared multiple times. And basically this data analyst said any state that has these machines should audit their votes without machines, right? It is not an accurate election, or else if you go by this data, then you're looking at an inaccurate election, which means you're randomly choosing a president every single time, okay? So that's just a data analyst. And, they'll have to look at it a little bit more too, right? They will have to look at it a little bit more. And there is some more things that are happening right now that kind of make people realize that there could be real voter fraud. There really, really could be. I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying that there really could be. Like already, 2 men in Los Angeles are charged with voter fraud. Like, what do? They submitted thousands of voter registrations, they're trying to register voters from homeless people. And like these 2 people were registering 8,000 voters, falsifying names and signatures. Okay, and they're basically being charged right now. So these 2 men in LA are being charged with voter fraud. So that you're already looking at this. Okay, but they're not sure if it's going to actually affect the presidential ballot. However, it will affect people's idea of, oh my gosh, this stuff is actually going on. Okay, so that's in LA. In Georgia, one of the swing states too, right now, they found 2 counties that didn't count votes. Okay, so in the first county, they found that there was an entire box of ballots of 2,700 votes that weren't counted. Okay, and they're not sure what actually happened. It could be from the machines, or it could be from people, like from the people counting the votes. Okay, so that's why these officials were spending the entire day recounting 8,000 early voting ballots. Not sure if it's human or computing error. And then a second county also found the exact same number of votes that were not counted. It was 2,700 votes not counted. So we're looking at thousands of missing votes, and already 2 counties have found up to 5,400 votes that were not counted. Okay, remember these. And another thing when it comes to stats is this. Mail-in votes have never been that, trustable. So when you look at all the statistics for mail-in votes, the rejection rate, a normal rejection rate of mail-in ballots is 3%. And this is normal, okay? Now, this election, there are 6 times the amount of mail-in ballots, okay? 6 times larger, which basically means that it should either keep the 3% or be a little bit higher, okay? However, the rejection rate is 0.24%, which basically means there's no major vetting of ballots, and this is why they're telling everyone they should be auditing all mail-in ballots, because that doesn't really make any sense, right? Because at a very, very, even if it's a small scale, if your rejection rate is 3%, but that's normal. If you multiply that by 6 times, which is going to be, there's more chance of error. It doesn't make sense that the rejection rate is at 0.24%, right? So there's another thing that people are looking into right now. Michigan, interesting thing that happened in Michigan. Wayne County is one of the largest counties in Michigan, and they basically refused to certify the results. And then hours later, all of a sudden, they were split 2-2 to certify it or not. And then suddenly, hours later, the board of canvassers said, okay, well, let's do it then. And it's unanimous. So it's kind of very strange that actually happened, because they're saying there's many discrepancies discovered in the absentee ballot polls, right? So this could have been something that could have affected all of Michigan, but now it's kind of strange that they say they refuse to, and then all of a sudden they say unanimously that they're going to, okay? Also in Nevada, this one's even more stranger. In Nevada, 153,000 ballots have been discarded. They're no longer being used. right? This is not for the presidential election, but it opens up more speculation of voting problems in Nevada, okay? And so this was for the race for the Clark County Commissioner, and they found 153,000 ballots that shouldn't be discarded. So they are the Board of Canvassers are declining to certify because just from this, when they look all over Nevada, they found 936 discrepancies. We're not talking about votes. Discrepancies mean things that shouldn't happen. 936. So there's going to be a possible demand for a full audit for Nevada also, right? So that's going to be something that's very, very interesting. And last but not least, there's a local post office whistleblower. And this happened after this is pretty recently. This person came out and he's got a video out and everything else. And he said that on November 9th, the supervisor, and he actually gives the name of the supervisor, says this supervisor gave an order that only the political mail will be delivered of that of the winner, which is Biden. So all of Biden's mails went to first class. And then the Trump mail was put in undeliverable bulk mail bins, okay? This is what he's saying, okay? And he did say that also on top of it, there's also other U.S. Postal Service whistleblowers too, but he also said that this supervisor said postmark all ballots to be accepted. So postmark them that they came early. And of course, is raising concerns about the legitimacy of the election. We don't know if this is true or not. And the problem is that one set of mail is being treated differently than other mails, right? So the one side of the political spectrum is being treated different than the other side, and it's also kind of showing this integrity of the post office and system. It doesn't have it, so people are not going to be able to trust the post office because of this, right? And this post office worker did say that he wasn't the only one that heard what this supervisor said. There are 30 workers that all heard this claim, and he said that all of them were able to testify. And then also he recorded a conversation of federal agents trying to coerce him to recant and take back what he said. And then all of a sudden what happens was the newspaper, the Washington Post, basically put out a story saying that this person said it's not true anymore. But then this person's like, what? And this guy put out another video saying the Washington Post said that I recanted and said that it wasn't true, but I've never said that. So this is going to be another ongoing war. And of course, everyone has to be basically, they're going to have to go through the evidence itself, right? So it's just kind of interesting how all these things are going out. Is it a political thing? Who knows? Right? Once the evidence comes out, we're going to know. And I think more than anything else, I really, really believe that it's God that has to really open things up. And when God opens things up, if it is true or false, then God will allow, if it's corruption, God will allow the corruption to be caught. If it's not corruption, is not true, then God will let it stand and pass by. So it's something that we just got to wait. But a lot of things are coming out right now at the moment. So that is the current news. Sorry, done in the wrong order. My mistake. I think it's because of the thunder that scared the sense out of my brain, so I did things in the wrong order. Just blame the thunder, okay, guys? Yeah, don't blame me. Blame the thunder. Yeah, I'm a victim. It's the thunder. It scared me, so I lost the order. So what we're going to do is, in order, we're going to still go to the same order of the song of choice for today. What's the song of choice for today? We're going to go into kind of like a dance song, okay? Because I haven't played many of these dance songs. I don't know them very well. So I'm going to play a song from a group called Joel Corey. Well, he's a DJ, okay? So Joel Corey is a British DJ and producer, okay? And this is featuring the vocals from also a British singer called MNEK. And this was released as a single on July 3rd, 2020. So this is this year's song. Yay! And this song went to #1 on the UK single chart in July, and the first chart topper for both Corey and MNEK in their native country. This is also, great song. Joel Corey featuring MNEK. The song is called Head and Heart. So I hope you guys can enjoy this and just dance along.
Oh my God, these feelings just begun. I'm saying things I've never said, doing things I've never done. Oh my God, when I see you, I should it right. but I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop. Tells me to stop. Feelings I feel about us. Try to fight it, but it's never enough. My heart is hurting, it's more than a crush. Cause I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop, but my heart goes bum, 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 bum. Cause my heart goes bum, 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 oh my God, can't believe what I've become. I'm thinking things I shouldn't think, singing songs I've never sung. Oh my God, when I see you I should run, but I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop. Tells me to stop. Feelings I feel about us. Try to fight it, but it's never enough. My heart is hurting, it's more than a crush. Cause I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop, but my heart goes bum, 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 bum. Cause my heart goes bum, 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 but my heart goes bum, 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 cause my heart goes my head and my heart, my head and my heart, I can tell them apart. Can't help me to run, but I can't. Cause my heart goes bum, 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 cause my heart goes bum, oh my God, this feeling's just begun. Saying things I've never said, doing things I've never done. Oh my God, when I see you I should've run, but I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop, but my heart goes.
All right, and that was Joel Corey featuring MNEK from the UK. MNEK from the UK. That is a British DJ named Joel Corey, and that song was Head and Heart. I hope you guys were able to dance to that song. If you guys have any other dance songs that you guys think are really cool, I would love to hear that too. All right, so that was once again Joel Corey with MNEK. All right, so that goes into our final section for today, and I want to talk about something that's very interesting because I was talking about this with a good friend of mine, okay? And this is something that's very interesting because it's something that I have been through myself, and something, I would say it's a very, very sensitive topic. It is very, very sensitive, more than anything else, okay? And the topic is about money, all right? So, especially when it comes to church and money, it's very sensitive. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, like what are they doing with their money? How are they spending their money? What should our church buy? There's just so many different things that are going on when it comes to money itself, right? And the one thing that I am a very big advocate of, because I used to be a head leader, right? I was a head leader for like almost 4 years when I was in New York. And the question is about like money. Okay, so we're like, oh, what do you mean about money? It's very sensitive, so I'm kind of tiptoeing, but I realize I'm talking to you guys, and I think you guys are pretty reasonable about this. It's kind of food for thought, making you think. Okay, so the first question I think all of us would understand, and we would all answer the same, is should full-time workers like head leaders and stuff work for free? And the answer is no way, right? I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be like, yeah, of course. Imagine if you're a head leader working like, you know, you're running the church, doing all these amazing things. Should you work for free? And the answer is no. You shouldn't be working for free. Obviously, right? Because it's like a job, right? So even in the Bible, the tithing was given to the church, and then the Levites were given a portion of that too. So that's what they do. They earn that money. Okay. So then the next question is, why is it so important to support? And maybe not. We know it's important to support because these people have to live. Okay, it's just like that in parables we have that Bible verse where it says don't muzzle an ox where it's treading the grain, and then Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 says, don't muzzle the ox, meaning like they're doing all this amazing spiritual, they're sowing the spiritual seeds, so they should be getting in the harvest too. Like they're doing all this work, but why do you you don't give them any food, you don't give them any money or whatever it is, right? So that they can at least go by. Okay, so the next question would be is how much? Like if you're thinking normally, okay, we're thinking reasonably. I want you guys to think out of the religious realm. Like you can even think in the religious realm too. How much is it, how much is enough for like say a head leader or someone to live, right? So the question would bring up is like, well, how much is like, well, what can they buy? Like, should they have enough money to buy things for themselves, like new clothes and food and like say even like a decent phone or whatever it is, right? Should they be able to do that? And that's something that you'll think in your head. Personally, myself is, yeah, I think they shouldn't be living in poverty. Like they shouldn't be living at the poverty line, right? Like if you go into a country, there's a poverty line. And the only one I can compare is myself is because when I was in New York, I got paid a certain wage. And the poverty line in New York is something like, it's close to like $13,000, like 12 to 13,000, like let's say 12,500 US a year is a poverty line. Okay, poverty line meaning you're poor, okay? And interestingly enough, I was paid more than the poverty line, but not much over it, right? Like, so I was, very, very close to that line, okay? And so the next question should be, well, how about this then? Do you think a head leader of a church should be paid, say, minimum wage? Like, would that be okay to be paid minimum wage? Like, when I look at minimum wage in New York right now, it's about $15 an hour, which is pretty high for a lot of countries too. But like for Australia, whatever it is, it's not very high, but it's minimum wage, right? So minimum wage is about $15 an hour. Okay. So then here's the thing: should they get paid? Is it enough for them to get paid at least minimum wage, or should they get below minimum wage? Right? So there's another thing that we have to put in our heads, should they get the poverty line? And our thought is like, there's no way they should be living on the poverty line. Because honestly, if they're, if there's not enough, then think about it. Then like imagine introducing your parents or like, and this pastor can't dress well, or this pastor doesn't have enough money to buy new clothes or whatever it is. Then we're going to be like, oh my gosh, like that's my pastor. And you don't want to, it's hard for you to say this is my pastor and be really, really proud of it, right? Not that is going to be the most important point, which it's not. Right? But should they get at least minimum? Right? And then my question to you is like, let's just say you were going to do a job, right? And remember this, yes, doing the work for the Lord is doing for the Lord, but doing the work for the Lord, we do it for the Lord, right? However, whenever we get educated too, it's not like when you're working for a company, you're no longer doing it for the Lord. Basically, the way that we're taught is, even at work, do it like you're doing it for the Lord, right? Like you want to put the best mentality in, and you want to work really hard, and you want to show a good example of someone who is someone who is a faithful person that works really hard, and everyone says, wow, look at that person who believes in God, they're doing so good, kind of thing, right? So then my question to you is, would you want to work in a job where you, let's say, get half of minimum wage? So look in your country and you get half minimum wage. Because for me, when I looked at my wage, like I'm not going to complain here. I'm just thinking about in our heads is what should be proper. Okay. So for me is, even if I calculated everything, I get less than minimum wage, less than half of minimum wage. So imagine here, it's like, would you work for any job less than half of minimum wage? Would you do it? Right? And think about this is like, would you think about going into the future with that type of job if that was what you're going to look at financially? Like, oh, that's your future. So yeah, would you want to do that job? And honestly, I think most people, maybe in the high 90%, you'd be like, I probably wouldn't go into that job. Because you still got to live, right? Now, when full-time workers are people working for this history, like the reason why I know that a lot of people won't bring it up, because I was, even for myself, just asking for a raise. I asked for a raise once, and I was like, it's kind of like, oh gosh, I won't tell you exactly what the words were said, but it's kind of like, it's like a taboo thing, and it's so sensitive. Like, should they? Or should it even get to the point where your leader has to kind of come to them and say, can I get more? Or should it be something very average and normal, like, oh my gosh, there's no way they should be living like that. No, we should do this for them, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right? So, like, imagine this too. Like, what if you're living in like, say I was in the US, but then like you don't get, like, you have no medical coverage for you, or even dental. which is kind of like you'd consider a basic need. Would that take into consideration your jobs too? And it would too, right? And I saw this, the reason I brought this up, I saw this interesting study. This really interesting study that says that when it comes to working a career and a job, money is only important when it's important. And you're like, what? Yeah, money is important when it's important. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? So I looked into this study, and it shows that money becomes something that affects you in your job in a negative way only when it is too low. It's not what you're not getting paid what you're worth. Okay, what's not enough. That's the only time it becomes a problem. However, the interesting thing is, the moment you get paid a certain amount, which is not extravagant, but you get paid your worth, right? Let's just say, like, honestly, if you're working at McDonald's, I don't think you're expecting 50,000 US a year. Are you really expecting that at McDonald's? You're not, right? But if you're a student, you're getting paid like $15 to $20 an hour, I don't think you'll be complaining, right? So what happens is, in the studies, it shows that when you get paid enough, it no longer becomes a reason to do worse. It becomes something that it's out of the equation now, right? So what happens is, when money gets out, when money is no longer an issue, people begin to focus more, they become more efficient and more effective, more creative, and they begin to do things because, not worrying about, oh my gosh, how am I going to live? What am I going to think about here? Or, well, I don't have enough to pay rent. I don't have enough to do this. I can't even buy extra clothes. All those thoughts are gone, and they're really able to focus on their work, right? Because money is a very sensitive topic. Like, when I think about it, it's like, oh, should I even talk about this? But I think it's something that we should make less taboo, right? Less sensitive. We should. Where it's like, yeah, it's true. It shouldn't be like this, right? Because imagine if your head leader or your leaders are more invested. Like, your head leader's very invested. They don't have to worry about the money part because they have enough, right? They're like going out meeting people. They don't have to worry about how much money they're spending on, like, they can't even afford a car, right? They can't afford the gas or whatever, all these things. These things come into the equation, and it plays a huge role in how effective and how well they run, right? So, it's really interesting that money is only an issue when it's an issue. Like, imagine you're like a graphic artist, a graphic design artist, whatever it is, and in the world, like in the regular jobs in the world, they're getting paid, let's just say in the US, you're getting paid like, the average is like 60,000 US. 60,000. Like, whoa, right? 60,000 US. Imagine getting paid 60,000 US, okay? But then, instead, they're like, okay, no, we'll just give you 25. And you're like, what? Like, how motivated would you be to work there? You'd feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm working for pennies, and I can get a better job somewhere else. Why are they doing this to me? They don't acknowledge me. They don't accept me. And that becomes something in your head, is you're not getting paid enough. But if you're getting the industry average, like 60 to 70, or even a little bit more, like say, hey, you know what? The industry average is 60. We're gonna give you 65. I don't know if anyone would be complaining. That wouldn't be on the table anymore. It's more of, all right, what can I do? I want to make some great designs. I'm going to spend more time. Why? Because I have all the things I need, right? It's no longer an issue. And I do think that it sounds counterintuitive because, obviously we have to take into consideration that churches have a certain amount of money in their budget, right? And that makes sense, right? Obviously that makes sense. But I'm thinking about in the future. Like in the future, when like financial or churches begin to grow and they get bigger and bigger. Let me give you an idea of a mega church in America. A mega church in America, the average salary for a mega church in America is more than what I get paid in 1 year. Just for 1 month. Their monthly salary is more than what I get paid in a year. So you have these big head pastors, like these head pastors in these huge churches, over 2,000 people. The average wage is 20,000 US per month. Why? Because they're dealing with more people, bigger church, more people, more things to think about, more things to take care of, right? And if you think about this, is if you're getting paid that much, you're not worried about it, right? The money's not the issue anymore. The money's not the issue. It's more about, okay, how can I take care of these people? How can I make sure that these people are educated? How can I make sure this is happening here, here, and here, right? And I'm not saying that we're trying to make full-time workers rich. Like, that's not the thing. But I'm even thinking like, well, what if it's like half of minimum wage? Like if it was you, how inspired or how much would you really be putting your all into it, or thinking of, oh my gosh, how can I make more money? Because I can't even afford this, I can't afford that. people are scrutinized. It's very interesting because money's a sensitive topic, but it shouldn't be that sensitive that we can't hit norms, like, or what's a regular norm. I don't know how many people, I know when churches are too small, you can't really afford it, and I understand that point. But I'm thinking as we move forward and churches get bigger and bigger, I remember in the Christian church when I was there, we had a new pastor come into our church, and this is a Christian church, the church bought him a house, gave him a car, and then gave him a salary, and his contract was 20 years. It was 20 years, right? So these people come in with their families, with 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever it is. They're not worried about the money. They've got a house, they've got a car, and the only thing that matters to them is, how do I feed my flock, right? How do I take care of these people in the best way? But imagine if you get less than, imagine you don't have, you're almost at the poverty line, right? Imagine that. Then in your heart, it's already that much harder. You know what I mean? So that's the thing I want you guys to kind of think about too, because I'm no longer a head leader anymore, right? I'm no longer a head leader anymore. But, even for all full-time workers, I do respect a lot. I respect all these full-time workers, that full-time head leaders and IMD and HQ, because what they get is, think about this. We say that the people are the most important part of a church. They are so important, but then the people who are there taking care of these most important people get paid peanuts, which means we don't even acknowledge, or we're not even showing that they're that great. Oh yeah, they're so important. So the people taking care of them, we'll give you nothing. And then that's kind of weird, because it's showing that if the people are the most important, then you should be taking care of the people that take care of the people that are supposed to be the most important thing, right? So, I think as we go into the future, as we become more and more professional as an organization, as this history, because even though we're the history of God, we're still an organization, right? We're not like this thing that just kind of just moves with the flow. We need structure and organization, right? That's why there's IMD. Under IMD are all the headquarters. Under all the headquarters, all the head leaders. Under all the head leaders, the AIA, right? There is an absolute structure. We need it, because if we don't have structure, things are chaotic, and we wouldn't know what to do and how to collect info and all these other different things. It's very, very difficult, right? But we do need structure, and we do need to be competitive. As in, some people might say, I remember Pastor Joan talked about this. I talked about this a long time ago, and Pastor Joan was saying that, think about this. Even the restaurant in the Lord's church, people are getting paid $3,500 a month, which is more than it's triple of head leaders, right? And that's just working in the restaurant, right? And what she said was, think about it. It's much different now than it was before. Now people are flying, they're traveling, they have cars. Girls, especially girls, they have makeup and the clothes. They're not going to just wear the same clothes or 2 sets of clothing for the rest of their life. As a head leader, no, there's so many different needs that are needed right now more than before. But imagine if you're called to this history, and then it would kind of feel like you're not acknowledged or respected, because you get paid peanuts. And yet everyone's always complaining and oh my gosh, my head leader is my head leader's like this, right? And guys, I'm not talking about my experience right now. I'm just talking about in general, right? Because, it's a normal thing. People, when it comes to church, there will be, the people complain about the leaders and the leaders complain about the people, right? It's a normal thing. But imagine if you have people that are fully invested. They don't have to worry about money, because money, living, we're not asked to, being a full-time runner for Providence, even though we're not meant to be rich, but it doesn't mean we're supposed to be poor. You know what I mean? That's not what it's supposed to be, right? Yeah, you can't be rich. And I understand that. I don't think any of the full-time workers are asking to be rich. I'm kind of speaking on behalf of all the full-time workers, because I don't think a lot of them are able to really to voice out about it. But I can, right? Because I'm no longer a head leader anymore, but I see it and I felt it and I experienced it myself. And, people go through hard times. It's difficulty, and finance plays a big role. And I'm sure those of you out there who have financial difficulty know how hard it is. But imagine you have to work a job that's more than 40 hours a week, where you're on call 7 days a week, right? And sometimes people call you really late at night or whatever it is. You're going to people. There's so many of these different things happening, but you get paid less than half a minimum wage. Can you imagine how motivated you'd be? If you can't even, like, because you have to think about living and stuff like that too, right? So that's something that's been on my mind, thinking about it, because I'm like, wow, I'm pretty sure most leaders can't think about this or can't talk about this. You know what I mean? And what I say is, people should think the opposite. If if things aren't going well, yes, you might think to yourself, oh, we don't have money. We can't pay them as much. My thing would be pay them more. That's my thing. You invest in people so that people do better, right? And if you invest in the people, then automatically everything goes up, right? But if you start taking away, then people start to like, oh no, this is too hard. This is this. And then all this, the work is not getting any less, but you're just getting paid less, right? So that's something that I wanted to just see what you guys were thinking about that too, right? Should they get at least minimum wage? Like minimum wage? Or, of course not poverty line, but how much is enough? And when the future comes, when our churches get bigger and bigger, how should it be? What's the best way to do it? Okay? So, yeah, this is for all you full-time workers out there to make everyone think about, we do need medical. We do need dental. We do need these things to live a basic life, right? So I hope that becomes something is food for thought for you, especially when it comes to people running in this history and how we think about what they're doing. And I'm going to ask, I'll say that one more time. What would your attitude be like if you were making less than half you're making right now and you're working the same amount? How would you feel, right? Or what would your mentality or mindset be like, right? And that's something we got to think about. Okay, so that is the last thing for today. It was a good, deep thoughts for everyone here, which means that it is the end of today's podcast. I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday, and we'll see you guys again on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can